All right, we're here for another episode of Mission Hope. I'm your host, Tyler Jones. We got Kevin Mays as usual, and this time we have Ty Oswalt with us, the janitor for Bearded Warriors. Ty, nice to have you.
Yeah, thanks.
Ty is, tell us a little bit about Bearded Warriors and your time as janitor
Hey,
there.
before we start,
Okay.
I want to say, Ty by far is one of the coolest volunteers that we have coming here. One thing, he just gets stuff done, and the first time I met him, he helped us out with getting the kids over to Santa's Village here in town, and I had no idea how I was going to get transportation over to Santa's Village, and dude just knocks it out of the park. Drew calls
Drew
you.
called,
Yeah,
yeah.
Drew Gilbert, our head of security, director of security, calls and just throws it out there like at 10 o'clock in the morning. By 5 o'clock in the afternoon, dude brings a chartered bus to the mission. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a day. This is just business hours of a day.
Yeah.
All right. Brings a chartered bus to the mission. Not only that, he gets catered dinner from Mellow Mushroom, which was the bomb, and also had called and got it laid out at the Santa's Village for our kids to go first to sit on Santa's lap,
Yeah.
and basically not wait in any lines. So
Yeah,
that was
because we knew we were on a time frame,
Yeah.
so we wanted to cut because we had previously gone, and it was about a 45 plus minute wait, depending on what time you got there. So we made sure so that everybody had enough time to do the write the letter to Santa with what they wanted, to the reindeer and all the other pictures and craft stuff. We were able to coordinate with the manager. She's like, yeah, no problem. Just when they show up, let me know. And I was like, well, we're going to be in a charter bus, so you're going to be able to see us pull up.
Yeah, so it was crazy. It was by far one of the craziest things. Had all that situated, and so that was my first introduction to Ty and the Bearded Warriors. It was really cool to get with them, and so you also do some stuff. I guess let you talk about this, but another connection that you have to the mission is the haircuts. How did that happen?
So a couple months ago, Rocket 95.1 and Sport Clips on University got together and was doing a beard competition. So anybody that was in the area could upload a picture of themselves and a little bit of a description. And then everybody just went on the Rocket 95 Facebook page and voted for whoever they thought they had the best beard. A couple of us in the group uploaded our photos and stuff, like kind of like a joke, because we're like, nobody's going to win this that we know.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, Nick or Jason Nicholas, one of our guys, his beard is probably about half as much longer as mine is. He won. So the grand prize, or the only prize, was a I think like $150 prize pack of haircuts and product and some other stuff. And Jason had told me when he had submitted, he goes, hey, if I win this, I'm going to try to do is a give back and see if they'll split it up into even packages, and just if a vet comes in, we'll give them a haircut free of charge, and just say, hey, thanks, and this from us or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so Scott talked to Jason back and forth about that, and then came up with, well, I think we can do something better than that. Why don't we do just a full day of free vet haircuts?
That's cool.
And so Jason was like, well, the biggest thing that I wanted to push, he goes, I want to push for is, getting the homeless vets that need haircuts, because some of these guys may not be in the best situation, but if they've got an interview coming up, a haircut could do a world of difference for first impressions. Plus, anytime anybody gets a haircut, you always get that little boost of confidence.
You feel good.
Right. I mean, nobody doesn't like a good haircut.
Of course.
And so we did that in December, and I think we right at 45 haircuts. We got some of the vets that are here at the mission, loaded them up in my truck and a couple other cars, and just did a round robin of 5 guys there, picked them up, dropped them off, and just all day. And then Scott got a hold of me the next week and was like, Jason getting a hold of me with what he wanted to do with the prize pack was something that I had already kind of been feeling inside of me of wanting to figure out a way to give back.
Yeah.
He goes, what are your thoughts on creating a program within you guys so that we can do it regularly at the mission for the vets, and plus just whoever's there that needs a haircut. It doesn't matter what their association is of any kind.
Right.
For the simple fact of when we brought guys to Sport Clips, most of them were hesitant to walk in just because they didn't really necessarily know what was on the other side of the door.
Right.
Or past experiences of being in a weird place and stuff like that. But then seeing them going from not talking to anybody and just kind of sitting in their chair waiting for their turn to getting the haircut, and then all of a sudden it was like a whole new person got out of the chair. They were talking, joking, asking questions, talking to the other bearded warriors that were there. It went from a very silent truck ride from here to there to I think I could have drove around and wasted 36 gallons of gas, and those guys would have still kept talking the entire time we were back in the truck, kind of thing. So, and we see that we've done it twice a month since January here, and the same thing. The first 2 times we were here, everybody was kind of a little bit of hesitant and maybe some anxiety about coming in and stuff. Figuring out they're like, well, do we need to pay you guys? I'm like, no, just come in and sit down. When they say, hey, who's next? Jump up. It's like a barbershop.
Yeah.
You know who's in front of you when you walk in, so just the next person jump in and like see it going from kind of just sitting there staring at the floor or the wall waiting for their turn to them jumping up and then cracking jokes. Now everybody that comes in, I mean, it's a laugh riot. I mean, if I could do audio in there with some of the the conversations.
We can do audio in there.
Yeah, I'm saying, but the audio that comes out of that.
Yeah.
If you didn't know where we were at, you would think that we were just in another barbershop in town hanging out and stuff like that.
That's an idea. We ought to do a podcast in the barbershop.
Camaraderie in the barbershop.
Just like while it's going on,
we'll
set up the table.
Yeah.
People will be getting haircuts around us, and we'll just
we'll talk to the guys. We'll talk to Scott.
Yeah,
Scott.
Right, because Scott comes.
And then whoever the volunteers is there's some of the volunteers are from Sport Clips. Some of the volunteers are from some of the salons in Madison. One of the ladies last time was from Salon Allure over by Parkway Place. I mean, it's anybody and everybody that's a stylist or a barber, as long as we can vet your credentials, kind of thing. You can sign up. It's really 10 to 6 and 2-hour block. So what I try to tell everybody is if you can't come all day, that's fine. You can come during your lunch break or after you get off work or before you go in. We have everything built out on the Facebook group to the end of the year. So if it's not something that you can do this month or next month, you might be able to do it in September or October. So it's really whenever you can find the time to share.
You know what I was just thinking?
What?
We kind of have the evolution of the beard sitting here.
I wasn't going to say anything about it, but you're right.
Because we got stubble.
Yeah.
We got I'm committed for a couple of months beard.
Yeah.
To
gnarly.
Committed for life.
Awesome. Yeah.
Gandalf the Great. I mean, I feel like I have a baby beard right now. When I'm with you, I feel like I've got a beard. Because you do the stubble thing, but sitting beside him, I feel like.
I just shaved last night.
Okay.
Because Ty was coming on the show.
Oh, you don't want to make me feel bad?
Yeah.
Oh, that was you walking last week with all the way down to here? Oh, okay.
The long lizard beard.
Looking like Frodo?
Yeah.
So, y'all's group is fun, man. I mean, we had you guys at Carts for Hearts. And
that was an awesome time.
Somebody dressed up like Richard Simmons with the short shorts, and it was just...
So that's probably the one event that I've been to in the last 6 years that somebody actually had on shorter shorts than me.
Oh, yeah.
So those are like the two things that I'm known for around in Huntsville. My short shorts is I wear silkies all the time.
Okay.
And my beard.
Oh, yeah.
And
those are two great things to be known for.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
A good beard.
And the
short shorts.
Short shorts, yeah. That's great. That's great. And y'all have fun, and I even saw yesterday with, I guess it was really Saturday, wasn't it, the parade
Saturday.
you went to for St. Patrick's Day, and just the fun that you guys have. But you were telling me really the heartbeat of y'all's organization is to have fun, but there's a reason why y'all are having fun. There's a reason why you're getting out.
Is.
Yeah, so
sure it is. So the fun stuff that we go do, the 5Ks, 10Ks, mud runs, the parades. We have social events at one of the local breweries. It's a way to try to get in front of things that are going on with veterans and their family members after they return from military service or combat, so that the issues that lead up to a veteran deciding to commit suicide no longer are an issue, because you have the community and reach back from fellow vets, whether they're combat related or not. The family members have a reach back to other family members, so spouses can talk to spouses, kids can get together with the kids. Bearded Warriors really runs off of the whole dynamic is whole family. Because if I'm dealing with issues from combat, even though it may not be very apparent to me, my parents, sister, girlfriends, wives, the kids, everybody that has something to do with a veteran on a daily basis is also dealing with those issues in some form from the veteran.
No, absolutely. Combating that, the issues of PTSD and just social anxiety and those type of things with a veteran. I love how, one thing that you were telling me about with the scuba diving with the vets, and just really getting out and having some social interaction is awesome. And just, and the veterans that are here, the way that you're interacting with them with the haircuts and different things, I love how you're doing that on the front side and not on the back side. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we focus on things after they're a problem. But to hit it head on before it becomes a problem is really cool. Because I think a lot of times if somebody looked at y'all's Facebook page, they'd be like, "Man, these guys are like crazy. They're doing
all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff." And, But I love the fact that there is a reason. That there is a strategic reason to do that, to get guys who are struggling,
it's 100%. It's a proactive aspect on all of it, because the why is the issues that lead to veteran suicide. The suicide is not the why. That's the what happens because of a veteran that feels lost when they get out of the military, because they don't know who or where to go talk to somebody, to connect with somebody that understands some of the issues they're dealing with. Forgotten, they come back, and we spoke earlier about it. Most people don't care once you get back. When you're out of the service, it's like, oh, hey, great, you served, that's awesome. They're going on to the next, they're going on with their day kind of thing. So then you got a veteran that feels like they're forgotten because nobody cares that they serve. And it's not so much that they don't care that they served, it's just you got to find something else to your service has to go beyond that. So that's the one of the shirts that I wear a lot. It says, the bigger text says community involvement, but right down the middle it says, how can you help me? With community, the U is capitalized, and involvement, the me is capitalized. Because after, you got to find something to fight for after you get out. I made a video a couple of days ago, and it's like, even though you're not fighting in combat anymore, you still have to you still need a reason to keep pushing forward, whether that's your kids, your wife, your parents, job. You gotta look past what's going on right now. For like anybody, a reason to keep going. And so we try to do fun, engaging things so that the issues that lead up to somebody wanting to commit suicide don't become an issue, because those things aren't a problem. Because you have a lean on, you have the accountability. You wake up at midnight after having a bad experience sleeping or something like that. You can reach out and call somebody and talk, or send a message, or connect with somebody that can understand what's going on. And it's not somebody in a lab coat or a doctor on a chair or a sofa telling me, "Oh, well, tell me how you feel." It's somebody
doesn't really understand.
Well, somebody that it's kind of like what you talked about earlier when we were at the tour. It's like the brotherly love aspect of it is, hey, I'll be there for you and I'll talk to you, but there's going to be a certain point where I'm going to tell you, hey, you need to get up and do something. That's not the same thing. I posted something earlier today. I don't want to screw it up, so let me read it.
Okay. Kind of like a social network and a support network. Kind of wrapped up into doing really awesome stuff.
It's just like I said, whatever I can do or I can get involved with, or get anybody involved with, that keeps you engaged, so that you're not sitting on your couch at home playing repeat on all of the bad stuff that happened. Because
Right.
one thing that people don't realize is, and it's twofold. So if you go out looking for all the bad stuff, you're going to find the bad stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you go out looking for good stuff,
Yeah.
you'll be surprised at what all you'll find.
Yeah.
Something I posted this morning after watching a video, it was like, it says, you're not stuck. The reason you can't seem to move forward is because you keep applying an old formula to a new level problem. Change the formula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting something different,
Yeah.
that is the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
you're not going to be, if this is the problem,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to keep doing these same steps and then get to the end and go, well, why didn't it change? Well,
Yeah.
let me do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the shirts we came up with. It's got the big bold letters that says PTSD. It's got nothing to do with post-traumatic stress disorder. It says people trying something different.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Because that's what you've got to do. Because you get in, a lot of vets and even their family members will get into a rut
Yeah.
because being, military, you're inherently used to habit. You get up at the same time every morning, you eat lunch at the same time, you do the same things over and over again. But just because that's the same thing you've been doing doesn't necessarily mean it's the right things you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Well, I think too, a lot of the stuff that you guys do that I can really relate to, because you're 37, right?
Right.
Is that what you said? I'm 34, and so you were kind of right on the edge of the millennial, like the very end of it. But we're kind of a different group because you were around college age, and I think you were already in the service. But for me,
Right.
when 9/11 happened, I was in 11th grade.
I was already in for a year.
Yeah, and so that was for our age group, that was such a marking moment for us that, I mean, for me, I graduated with a small town, 24 guys, 12 of them, wound up joining some sort of service.
Yeah.
And majority of the guys in my town or that I hung out with wound up going overseas, whether that was in, joining the guard unit that was in town, or whether that was in, it wasn't unique to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like, that's sort of just what you did. And so I think for our generation, a lot of our guys have done that, especially in our age group. But it's also kind of weird because you mark by 9/11, in college or high school or junior high or whatever. You go overseas, you serve, and then you come back and you're trying to reevaluate your life. Like, what is my life about? You know what I
Right.
mean? How do I move forward now?
It was like you
after
just
this?
stepped out of the twilight zone back into something that you had no idea.
Yeah, exactly. And so a lot of our guys, like some of my friends have been, I only did one deployment. You did
I did one.
one. Have, multiple guys that did multiple ones,
Yeah.
and thank God for them. Men who sacrificed so much for us. But you wonder, like the guy does 4 or 5 deployments. He spent his life as a warrior. I mean,
Right.
he's battle hardened. That's
Yeah.
what he knows.
Oh yeah.
And to come back and try to figure out life, we're the lucky ones.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I'm even more so because I was more of a support. I was an engineer. But I love the fact that you're really geared towards those guys and helping them to get back into into society.
Well, and a lot of that stems from though is people talk about, especially like with fitness or really anything. Fat people don't go talk to skinny people because the skinny person is never going to understand what it was like to be big to try to get small, kind of thing. So it goes back to the like-minded, but also you have somebody that's overweight trying to lose weight. Well, somebody that's a trainer that's always been fit. Well, you have the same mindset. You're both wanting fitness.
Yeah.
But then there's a disconnect because this person doesn't necessarily, for lack of better terms, trust.
Yeah.
But you can only take so much of what they say as a grain of salt because this person over here that's always been fit and in shape and healthy doesn't have the same experience that the person trying to lose weight has, kind of thing. So it goes back to, like-minded and like-experienced people. Yeah. Well, I can eye to eye almost every single person in the group because been there, done that.
Yeah.
Once I got out, the whole reason the group started was because of my own personal needs of needing resources and somebody to talk to, and finally saying, but going back to the shirt, people trying something different. I did the same thing from 2004 to late 2009, and it eventually got to a point where it wasn't working anymore, and it started affecting other people around me.
Yeah.
And so I had to reach out, and what I thought was swallowing a big pill was really just a grain of sand kind of thing. And then it's fostered into, well, if I had this many issues finding the resources that I needed, and now that I've got a pretty good baseline of people and assistance, why keep that to myself? Let's give it out to everybody, because if I grew up here in Huntsville and I'm having this hard of a time finding resources, people that move here because of PCSing or getting out and getting a job or however they land here, if they don't know the area, they're going to have a 10 times harder time than I did. And so being that gap has been awesome.
So let me ask you this. What you're doing with here at the mission with the haircuts and everything like that, is that one of the first ways that you guys are dipping into getting in touch with homeless veterans? Is there other things that you're doing with
No, so there's we have another thing we do on Sundays, where people volunteer within the group and we cook meals. And then, so we also do so it kind of twofold on Sunday. Sunday we have a reoccurring workout for vets and their family members at Sweat Local on Cecil Ashburn. And then right after that, a small group of us go out and distribute meals to the local homeless camps and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. We should talk with Sweat Local, man. That sounds really neat. Or
Absolutely.
if there would be a way, because you guys are you're connecting with some of the guys that are here at the mission.
Right.
Homeless veterans here at the mission, and if there's a way to, like you said, any way that we can support, get a network going, man, I think that's awesome.
Definitely. Well, there's really two questions I have. And you see all the fun things that go on Facebook, but like we were just talking about today, there was a funeral expense of a fallen Marine,
Right.
Recently, and that Bearded Warriors helped out with. And so, to help the organization is not just helping to have a good time with these vets, but it's also, there's a darker side to it that helping out with. So I guess the two questions: one, how could someone get plugged in to Bearded Warriors? If they're not a veteran, or maybe they're a veteran and they're just wanting to help. And then two, the second question is vet that needs help, vet that needs to get plugged in and socialize. How do they become a bearded warrior? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. So what we were touching on, like the millennial side of it, is the easiest thing is on social media.
Yeah.
We have all of it. So we have Facebook, which is just facebook.com/bearded warriors.
Yeah.
Instagram is all lowercase, bearded.warriors. Twitter is @bearded warriors.
Okay.
On the Facebook page, as soon as you pop it up, there's a email link that goes to the blanket email account for the group. You can send a message there with, whether you're a vet or a family member needing resources or a direction.
Okay.
No matter where you're at. That's the biggest thing. You don't have to be local, or if it's somebody that like you live in Huntsville, but it's somebody that that lives in Colorado or North Carolina or wherever, send a message to the page. 90% of the time it's me answering it. So what I'm doing is going through my Rolodex of resources for whatever area. If I don't have one, then I get on Google and talk to friends that I know in the area. We have about 10 people per state in not really strategic places, but it just kind of what happens that everybody's just kind of spread out in certain areas of the state.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, I know this person, let me shoot them a message real quick.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an answer back in less than 24 hours kind of thing.
Right.
Like you don't have to be a vet to be a part of the group, because the one aspect that I have found over the last 6 years of doing this is, granted it's a veteran group, but everybody brings something to the table.
Yeah.
Because no matter what your previous experience is before you walk into an event that we've got, somebody's dealt with something, or somebody that's dealt with something, or you've helped somebody work through a problem. So whether you're still going through it, or on the backside of it, everybody has something they can contribute to the group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on. Very cool. Well, you guys are all over the place, so I'm glad I'm going to share every single link.
Okay.
And if you're watching this and you're in Huntsville, Ty Oswalt, if you haven't put it together, is not the janitor. He's not the janitor over there at Bearded Warriors. So he's kind of your point man over there. So we really appreciate having you here, man.
No, I appreciate the opportunity. I mean, you guys opened the door, pretty much open door policy kind of thing for us. And, the return that I've gotten from it, from seeing, like I said, seeing the guys in the hallways and stuff like that, chit-chatting, and then talking to the stylists that come in and do the haircuts when they leave. They're the same way. They come in with a whole lot of anxiety and like, oh my gosh, what am I going to, I was like, just talk to them. They're like, well, I'm not a vet. I'm like, you don't have, just hey, how are, the thing I try to, and so the thing I tell everybody is, and you guys can attest to this, and the first time I see, and if I see you for the day, I'll come up, shake your hand. The first thing I ask you is how you're doing.
Yeah.
That's a catalyst that can open up the door for a whole lot of stuff, because you never know what somebody you're running across is dealing with at any given time. So
yeah. And I'll say it started out with one chair. Last time I saw you guys here, there were 3 chairs with 3 different stylists and a whole lineup of guys.
Right,
So,
and the last time we even got over to where it wasn't just the guys we were helping. We went over and brought 15 ladies, and then 3 of the kids came over, got their haircut, because we just had enough. It's growing, and it's slow, but it's fine, because the biggest thing, the only thing that anybody can ask of anybody is to share their time.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got that.
And I wanted to say too that based off the social media post too, you don't have to be a vet. 2, you don't have to have a beard.
No, that's not
Yeah.
There should be like a belt or something like that you get for having the biggest beard.
Because I see a lot of ladies that are part of the group, and then of course we've got a lot of female vets that we love and that they do a great job in their service, and appreciate them too. So I know that they're welcome in the group as well. Maybe
100%.
Even if they can't grow a beard.
Well, there's a couple of them that have gone out for events, and like if they're in the meet and greet, the first part of it, they wear a fake one.
That's cool.
Just to
Yeah.
That's
I hear
cool.
you.
That's cool. So they get the shirt.
Absolutely.
Does everybody get the shirt? I'm sorry if you don't have to answer that.
There's shirts. If you want to just shoot a message to the Facebook page, I can get you a shirt.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I want to represent for you, man.
I definitely want a shirt.
I do.
Yeah, I definitely want a shirt. I think.
Yeah, one of my buddies in the Army posted on the parade post, and he's like, "Man, I'm getting a little mad. I've seen all these cool events and all these cool shirts, and I don't have one."
That's the way I felt yesterday. Hey, if you're listening or if you're watching this podcast, we want you to send a message to Ty and get a shirt. We want you to send him some money for it too.
Yeah.
But get a shirt, and we want to see these things canvassed around town.
Yeah.
So that we can see some support for our vets here in town, and hopefully a vet will walk by and say, "Where'd you get it?" and be able to come and do some cool things with the Bearded Warriors.
Yeah.
Great organization.
So, last thing.
Yeah.
Tyler Jones, Kevin Mays, Ty Oswalt. He's doing really awesome stuff with his group. If you have a group, you might be able to do awesome stuff like him. Let him know. Let us know. This has been a lot of fun. So thanks, guys. And that's a wrap.